I'm going to share with you my wrist warm-up that I do before I hand balance. So I've been hand balancing regularly for, I don't know, two and a half years. And one thing you'll notice when you hand balance is you can get a lot of pain in your wrists really quickly if you don't stretch and you're not really careful about stopping when things start to hurt. So when we hand balance, our wrist is at this really awful 90-degree angle, which isn't really that natural for a lot of us. So it starts to cause pain in your wrists. So one way you can prevent that is by strengthening them. Something I do occasionally is I'll get soup cans or something that weighs very little, like maybe like a 3-pound weight, or even a block, like a hand balancing block, and I'll take them and I'll just do lifts like this with my wrist to strengthen them. But if you're getting ready for a warm-up, there's a bunch of cool wrist stretching warm-up exercises you can do, and I have a routine that I go through that I do almost exactly the same every time I start a workout. So some of these have funny names because I did them with kids originally when I was coaching gymnastics, but it gets the point across. So I always start with spaghetti, which is like this wave with your wrists. So I'll do a few in one direction with my fingers interlocked, and then I'll do a few in the other direction. And then I do meatball and cheese, just wrist flicks. And then I'll do something I call piano. And then motorcycle, I just grab my fists and I do the same movement. And then from there, I'll roll out each wrist in both directions. It's a little bit easier if you grab one wrist than if you just do it freely. And that feels great. And then from there, I'll stretch back 2 fingers at a time on each hand. And then I'll grab the thumb by itself. And then I'll do the same thing and pull my fingers in towards my palm. 2 at a time. And the thumb. And then the same on the other hand. I'm starting in and I'll end out. And that feels great when you just do 2 at a time. It really allows you to isolate certain tendons. So from there, I do something I call around the clock. So I'll start with my palms on the ground, and I'll try to do this so it can be seen, but basically my palms are down on the ground, facing forward, and then I'll just face both hands out, put a little weight, shift from side to side, then fingers towards me, and then in facing each other, shifting side to side, and then I just reverse it and go around the clock again. So the back of my hand is on the ground, and I go around, in, face my fingers out, and that feels great. And then I may just shake that out. And the last thing that I do for my wrists is actually more for the shoulders, but it helps ease into putting all your body weight on your wrists. So this is, again, really a shoulder warm-up, but I get into a plank with my back straight with my legs, no butt up, no arch, and I just pronate my back so it's round, so I go from neutral to a round back. And this is good for my shoulders, but it also, I'm putting maybe half my body weight on my wrists, so when I go to hand balance later on, I'll already have this warm up. So I haven't been counting, but usually I do about 10 of these. And that's all. And then if anything feels tight, I just continue to maybe rotate my wrists out. And whenever I'm feeling a little pain in my practice, I'll always try to reverse the movement of the handstand when your wrist is like this, just reversing it by trying to put your palm on the inside of your wrist in that kind of stretch. And then if the pain gets too bad, always just stop, because you don't want to upset anything. That's going to take a while to heal. And then the only other tip that I have is, if you think things are starting to hurt but you want to get in a little more practice, sometimes rotating your wrist slightly out can give you a little bit of relief in your handstand. So I hope these are helpful wrist exercises. I'll go through them all one more time. So I do spaghetti, meatball, cheese, piano, motorcycle, wrist rotations, finger pullbacks in pairs, around the clock, and pronated shoulders in the plank, so plank shrugs. I just thought of one more, and those are finger flicks. Sometimes I'll add this in, just like maybe 20 finger flicks out like that. And those are all the wrist warm-ups that I have.